vlogs fits the crack. I hope you are all well today. So this is the first of what I hope will be a few garden to plate mukbangs. I have already done the recipe video for this dish and I've done it as a kind of ASMR style. We'll see how well my my microphone has fared as to whether we can say it's ASMR or not, because I've got a new microphone, still kind of testing it out and stuff, but I've given it an attempt. So yeah, it's something a bit different for me. Also a bit different is that it's no talking in that video, which is, you know, if you regularly watch my videos, you will know that's very unusual because I like to natter away. And I will be nattering away in this video to make up for that. So everything that is on my plate here has been grown in my garden, apart from the dressing and the feta cheese, because I've not got my own cow out there. It's just a little garden, as you'll see in the recipe video if you do check that out. So what we've got in here is some lettuce. It's cut and come again lettuce that I've just got on my windowsill, or I did have. It's now gone because I decided to use up the rest of it because it was about time that I replanted some more, because there's only so many times you can cut it and come back. I told you I was going to natter away. I'm nattering away, aren't I? We have got beetroot, rainbow beetroot, so there's different colours of beetroot. And I've also used the beetroot leaves as well, which are edible. So making the most of what I've got out there in the garden. So the beetroot leaves are similar to chard in the way that they look and taste and are cooked. I have also got some spring onion, and I've got some new potatoes as well. And the new potatoes are a variety called International Kidney, but if you live in the UK, you will probably know them as Jersey Royals. They're only known as you can only call them Jersey Royals if they've been grown in Jersey, and these have not been grown in Jersey, so they are International Kidney potatoes. But of course they will look like Jersey Royals. So I had a good fun digging them all up today. So it's the first time that I've harvested the potatoes, and when you harvest potatoes you don't really know what you're going to get, because of course you can't see anything other than the leaves. Even if you have like great big leaves, you don't necessarily know that there's going to be lots of potatoes down there. So I got a fair amount of potatoes. I've not used them all in this salad. I've got a few that I'm going to do something with. I don't quite know what yet. Right, so that's enough initial nattering. Let's actually go ahead and taste some of this. I'm really excited to taste it because, you know, I've put a heck of a lot of effort into all of this stuff. And the beetroots, I've ended up using all of the beetroots actually. They were kind of smaller beetroots. I'll tell you a little bit about the issues I faced with the beetroot after I've had a kind of initial taste. So let's try a beet leaf first. Now that one's got quite a lot of dressing in it, so I'm mostly just tasting the dressing. This one's kind of dressing free and it's a bit bare. I've not had a beetroot leaf before, never tasted it, so not actually tasted chard either that I can remember. May have had chard once in my lifetime, but I can't remember actually tasting it, so I want to know what this tastes like on its own. Sorry, that was very undignified. It's quite savoury, not quite bitter. It's sort of like on its way to bitter, but not bitter. It's a little bit salty as well, which is interesting. I've not added any salt to anything other than the dressing. And the beetroot leaves do need to be cooked. Apparently there's some toxin in it if you do that, a little bit of cooking will get rid of. I don't think, I imagine it's not a large amount of toxin or a toxin that would actually do you any harm in the amount that's in there, but there's stuff online to say that you should cook them before eating them because of this supposed toxin. So they just got cooked for the last roughly 2 minutes in with the potatoes just boiled. They've got quite a lot of flavour, but particularly the fact that they've been boiled and they've still kind of retained that flavour is quite interesting. Right, let's have a little spud, a little potato. The difference between shot ball potatoes and homegrown potatoes. Wow. You really can taste the difference and feel the difference. The texture is different. It's like creamy almost. Like creamy and buttery without adding any butter. Yeah, it's really soft. Really nice texture. Wow. Okay. Now the beetroots are all different colours. I said they're rainbow beetroots. So this one's kind of white coloured. Oh, it's sweet. It's really sweet. Like it tastes like it's had some sort of. It tastes like it's had some sort of like honey or something put on it, but it's not. And I've made beetroots in honey before, and it needed that extra honey to make it taste sweet. But this just tastes that sweet on its own. That's the other thing about homegrown is that the stuff tastes really sweet because it's still got all the natural sugars, and the longer they stay in the supermarket or even if you picked it up from a farmer's market, the amount of time that it takes from picking to getting on your table, all those natural sugars kind of dissipate. Wow. I'm having a lot of fun with this. It seems like quite a sort of simple meal, but because it's all new, it's all homegrown, it is it's a lot more interesting to see what it tastes like. Now the lettuce, I already know what that tastes like because I've been throwing it in things here and there. I've got a little yellow beet here. So I've got white, yellow and deep purple beetroots. So yeah, there you go, that's the colour of that. There's one which is hiding in here somewhere that was like white but with purple stripes, and unfortunately you can't see it as well. Oh, hold on, that's it there. I'll show you it. It's kind of lost its vibrancy a little when it's got cooked, but I will show you. I'm just getting the feta cheese off there so you can see it a little bit better. I'll show you a picture of what it looked like before it was cooked, because it was really vibrant before it got cooked. So here's that picture now. It looks amazing, doesn't it? It looks like a little heart almost. It's kind of heart shaped. It's not as earthy as the typical beetroot that you get. I wonder if that's because it's a lighter colour and maybe they don't have as deep a taste as the purple one. So I'm going to try a purple one here. Yeah, the purple one is less sweet and more earthy. So that's interesting that the different colours taste different. I've just had a little bit of the spring onion there as well. Again, that really packs the punch. That spring onion. It's kind of, I don't know, it's like more earthy than you'd get in your supermarket. The dressing, I realise I've not spoken about the dressing yet. This dressing is like a smoky dressing. So it's got some smoked paprika in there, which gives it the smokiness. And there's also some balsamic vinegar and soy sauce, which also make it kind of, gives it like quite a deep flavour. I know they're kind of, they seem like kind of unusual. It's a kind of unusual combination of ingredients, of flavours, but they work really well, and they work well with what I've got here with the beetroot. You know, even if you, I imagine that a lot of people watching are not going to be able to grow their own stuff at home. But you know, if you tried this with shop bought stuff at home, the flavours are gonna all work together as well. If you wanted to use something other than feta cheese, I think goat's cheese would work as well. Goat's cheese always goes really well with beetroot. I got some itty bitty tatties. That's Scottish for potato, by the way. That, you know, you wouldn't get them if you bought them in the shops, but because they've grown outside, I'm not gonna let them go to waste. They just taste more potatoey. They taste more earthy, as well as the texture. It's funny how different things taste when they're fresh. So I've just come back from a trip home. So I've not uploaded anything in the last couple of weeks. By the time I upload this, it'll be, you know, a while since that was. So this is being filmed at the end of July. So I've just been away for my birthday. I like to visit home for my birthday. Wow. It's so sweet. It's funny how different the leaves of the beetroot tastes compared to the root. You'd think they taste the same, but they really don't. Like I say, the leaves almost taste like seaweed. So because I've been home, my mum's been fattening us all up. So I wanted something nice and healthy when I came back. And what could be healthier than homegrown salad? I think every mum does that when you come and visit home, like feed you up. My mum tends to go a little bit crazy on the desserts. Like some days we could have a dessert at lunchtime and then another dessert at dinner time. And there's been times she's had like 2 different desserts on at dinner time. And of course you eat both because they're both there. So going home is very dangerous for my waistline. I was in charge of making a whole Scottish breakfast for everyone. My aunt and her girlfriend were visiting from America. My aunt lives in Miami, so they were visiting. And it's the first time that I've met her girlfriend. She was really nice, and they seemed to get on really well. They kind of did that old couple type thing, you know, where they were sort of joking about with each other and sort of getting on each other's nerves, but in a sweet way. And she got on quite well with us. You know, she had a kind of similar sense of humour, was interested in similar things. And she, for her job, she was involved in getting homegrown vegetables to schools. So, you know, she's quite interested in like homegrown stuff as well. So we had a bit of a chat about that. And because they were visiting, we went to see a few touristy things nearby. You know, when you live in an area, you don't typically go to see the touristy stuff much because you live there. Like, you're not a tourist, you just, you know, go about your daily life. You go away to see interesting stuff. To be fair, some of the stuff that we went to see, we have been to quite a few times. But it's time for some holiday snaps. I'm going to share some holiday photos with you. So, sorry, again, that was a bit undignified. So we went to Loch Ness. I think this was the day where there was some news about storming Loch Ness. You know, the whole Storm Area 51 thing? Apparently there's been talk of storming Loch Ness. How you storm a loch, I don't know. It's totally open to the public, Loch Ness. Like, you can walk all the way around it. It's not fenced off like Area 51 would be. Lots of people have been down there with scuba diving kits and you know, all of that. There's been plenty of searches for Nessie, but you know, if some random person wants to go ahead and try and find Nessie in there, you know, be my guest. The water in there is unbelievably cold, even in the summer. So you're going to need diving suits. People are bonkers, aren't they? Anyway, here's a snap of us storming Loch Ness. What else did we go to see? We went to see Culloden Battlefield, which is very, very close to home. Like we're from Culloden. Culloden itself is named after the battlefield, but the battlefield is a few minutes away by car from the place Culloden. The potato was so nice. I'm going to show you this lettuce as well. It's quite interesting to look at. It's now swimming in dressing. It's nice and it's kind of a frilly lettuce. Very pretty. So I had actually never been to Culloden Battlefield, despite growing up there. I think my sister had been once. So we went there, and possibly and I apologise to my ancestors, but the most interesting thing that we found there was actually a shrew. There's Culloden Battlefield is, you know, it's basically a big field. So there's lots of stuff just growing wild. There's some raspberries growing wild there. Foxgloves. Lots of plants. So of course there's some small animals there as well. And we came across a little shrew. We thought it was a vole at first, until we got back and showed my dad it on my phone, and yeah, he was like, "Oh no, that's a vole, that's a shrew." So I will show you a little video of the little shrew now.
Oh. This is so cute.
It seems kind of baby-ish. It's quite clumsy, but then it's quite big as well.
Why is there a napkin there? I don't want to take a picture of you next to a napkin. That's weird.
It's
Put it on up your crazy leg.
No, wait.
Oh my god, you're so cute. Why are you like the cutest thing I've ever seen?
We also went to see the Highland Wildlife Park. They're basically a big zoo up near a place called Kinusy. There's also a big golf course there. My dad likes to golf there. The smaller ones are a little bit more firm. And we also went to a place called the Findhorn Foundation, which is, I've now run out of food before I'm finished talking. Told you there was going to be lots of nattering. So the Findhorn Foundation is kind of like a commune of people. I think it started out that way, but it's kind of not a commune anymore. But we wanted to go there to. We've been a couple of times before, but we wanted to show it to my aunt and her girlfriend, who were interested in the idea of like there being a commune and we wanted to see if they were growing their own veg. They were growing some, but it looks like there wasn't as much as we expected. We expected them to be kind of more self-sufficient, so we expected some more vegetables than what there was. But that might have just been what we saw on the day. There was a lot of fruit trees around, lots of apples and pears. So I think there was a plum tree there as well. So we did see some growing of own vegetables there, and there was like a pottery place. They've got a big stage which I've actually performed on, but I think because I've run out of food, I'm down to my last beet. I think that story is going to have to wait for another time. So if you do want to hear the story of that, it's quite. I've got a fun story that's attached to it anyway. So let me know in the comments if you do want to hear about that. Hopefully I'll remember to bring it up again in another mukbang. Okay, so as I say, down to my last beet. So it's a little yellow beet. I got the dressing there, trying not to drop the dressing. I've got a little bit of spring onion. The spring onions, I don't know, they didn't, they grew a little bit funny. And now I've just realised I forgot to mention about the problem that I had when growing beetroot. I'll eat this. If you want to stay for the story, you can stay for the story. It's a very sweet beet. Very nice. Okay, so what happened with the beetroot, which is probably the reason why the growth was stunted quite a lot, was it was infected with what's called beet leaf miners, so then beetroot leaf miners. So there's basically the fully grown insect looks a little bit like a fly. I suppose it's a little flying insect. It's kind of like an elongated body, and they lay their eggs on the leaves, and the grub burrows into the leaf and eats the leaf, and gets the nutrients from the leaf. So it took me a while to realise that it was like quite a bad problem, and I do believe I've got a picture of the damage that was done. So I'll put that in there if I can find it. It was quite a while ago that I took the picture. Anyway, so things were looking pretty bad for the beets, but I managed to bring it around, obviously, because you can see there was beetroots there and lots of leaves to be had as well. So effectively what I had to do was just cut out the infected leaves and then look for the eggs. And I mean, I was looking for these eggs every day, and every day there was new eggs. So there must have, I don't know if there was just loads of these beet leaf miners around the area, or if it was just the fact that my beets were the only thing around that they could eat or lay their eggs on. But every day there was new eggs, so it was a right pain trying to get rid of them. Even when I did get rid of the eggs, there still seemed to be a new infection every now and then, like one of them got in. So I kept just having to cut away those leaves. And then, I gave them some fertilizer and just took care of them, and they regrew. So it was okay. But they were stunted a bit, and it meant that they took a lot longer to grow to a size that was alright for eating. But that kind of worked out for this, because it meant that the potatoes were ready at the same time. So I was able to do beetroot and potato salad, which was very tasty indeed. And as I say, the recipe I did last week, so you can check that out. And I do hope to bring you some more garden to plate recipes and mukbangs over the next couple of months. I think the next couple of months will probably, get the most out of the garden. So this should be the time where I'm getting more of those sorts of recipes. I've got lots of tomatoes growing. The tomatoes are doing really, really well. So hopefully should get some tomato-based recipes. Should also be having some cucamelons. I'll talk more about what a cucamelon is. And yes, they exist. And no, I'm not confusing my words. They are not cucumbers. They are not melons. They are cucamelons. So yeah, more on that later. Hopefully there will be a good few recipes to come on that. But for now, cheery bye.